India itself, Emily, who is from the US and has very closely examined life in Singapore, uh, culturally, trying to adjust and manage family health. You've studied both cultures in great detail. How much of a difference is it? And, what according to you are, problems that you would face in the US and, not so much here?
I don't know that I can say not so much. I mean, I think the issue of the having in-laws or extended family living in the house and influencing food, I actually get stressed out thinking about that because it's not very common in the U.S. But I think of what my kids are fed by their grandparents and their loving and great grandparents, but it's a lot of indulgence, and I think that would just come in the house and would be hard to deal with. But I think the issues are similar. Kids want to have food that's delicious, and there's a lot of and that's global, and there's a lot of opportunities for them to find that. And so really it's just about the taking the time to plan, taking the time to pick your battles, and I think that's a big one as well, is deciding, what are the parts of their day that you're going to focus on, what is your strategy as a family going to be to influence good nutrition. At my house, we talk a lot with our kids about food and the nutrients that foods bring to their life. And it's great. My children are 6 and 8, and I hear them talking about things like they know that meat offers protein and is good for their muscles, and they know that calcium is good for their bones, and that various vegetables are good for them. Some of them they like, some they don't. But it's great to see that coming through.
Okay, but you have to hold on to the mic a little longer because a little while ago we were having a conversation. She mentioned how kids are really all about wanting to eat yummy food, and as a family you need to kind of encourage and inculcate that habit. There was a very lovely story that she shared with me a little while ago about a little one, her daughter,
Yes.
who's at home with her husband and said, "No, I don't want green beans." So, I'm going to let you tell that, and I'm waiting for the conclusion of that.
Yes. So my husband and I had a conversation that my daughter, she's a carb-loving little child. So bread, corn, all of those things, she just will eat all of them all the time. And we had conversation about trying to increase her green vegetable intake. And I had to work late one night, and it was dinner time, so probably 7:30, and I get a FaceTime call from my husband, and he was like, "I've tried, it's your turn now." So I sat there on FaceTime with my daughter, convincing her to eat green beans, and we had success, but it wasn't without a few tears. But now it is sometimes the whole idea about giving kids something 10 times to make sure that they like it. We've found that really works for our kids. They may not love things after 10 times, but often they're willing to eat them a little bit more.
Fabulous. So my understanding from this particular round of discussions is that even maintaining family health is not just the sole responsibility of the woman. Everybody has to contribute, and everybody needs to do their little bit. Yeah, fantastic. We were just talking about how meals really ought to be planned with military-ish precision. But what I want to understand, and this is as a child of a parent too, I want to understand what happens between the meals. Like there's snacking. I am hungry every 2 hours, and I'm, well, not a child, so I'm guessing, oh yay, bag of potato chips, yum yum. Let's just eat and be done with it. So you know what? Actually, let me just start this one with Anjali. Planning snacks. Actually, just give us the technical lowdown, please.
See, in most of the households, what happens is people tend to emphasize on the main major meals, but without realizing your biggest culprit is your snack time. So snack time is snack time is the meal which requires lot of emphasis, and what are the ingredients which are very, very essential to make it as a healthy snack time is the protein component, which in Indian diet by far is typically low in your daily intake. So there is two components which are very, very essential. One is your protein component which is required, and other is your micronutrients. Micronutrients are those nutrients which are required in small quantums like your vitamins and minerals. I find key handful of almonds is an extremely healthy and very satisfying snack time meal which can be introduced. It is a finger food where the person, the small children don't have to mess around with. They have to simply pick and put it in their mouth.
Fantastic. Sorry, continue. This is a personal thing. I'm sorry, I'm making this about myself. But you know how you grew up with your grandmother saying, "Ki beta, saat badam, soak it in the night, and next morning you have the tedious task of spending precious moments peeling it, and then you drain out the water, and you see a pretty looking white badam, and you say, now I will eat this." You were telling me something really important about the skin of the almond.
See, first I'll tell you what is the logic behind soaking of your almonds. Typically, all your water-soluble vitamins and minerals, they are present around your skin. So when you soak them, they tend to seep inside the grain. So what are you left in the morning is the skin and the almond, which has full nutrition in it. So there is no need to peel that skin because that is contributing to your fiber part. So I would say highly recommend. So the last bit was fine, but that peeling of skin is actually not required. It is, you can consume it with the skin because it's adding to that fiber.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Why do we soak them?
Soak because around your skin there are vitamins and minerals which are present. Otherwise, what will happen is the chances are very high until unless you chew them very properly, because the saliva is alkaline in nature. It will definitely dissolve that vitamin and mineral and it will get absorbed. Or else, if you soak it, then the chances are 100% now you are getting the complete nutrition out of it.
It's like it's bioavailable in the body.
Yeah.
For some studies it is, but I think an interesting point that she made is, yeah, if you chew it very well, or you have shavings, if you don't like it soaked and you don't like that mushy sort of, you want the crunchy taste, and I think it's very good. I mean, you at least 20 chews per almond kind of thing.
Yeah, so, you know,
It's
getting
like
them to do
meditative
these
almost,
20
yeah.
chews is a really big issue because they want to gulp down things. So what I realized, what worked for me was that, when my son goes to school, which is a nut-free school, so I can't really put that in his, yeah. So that is not going in his school bag. So what I've been trying to do, and what has been working for me, is make them more interesting. Just almonds are a little boring. Like he'll probably want to. Why is it that you want those? Like you said, the crisps and the thing. So I realized that my son likes this tangy and little, what we in India say chatpata. As long as something is chatpata, he enjoys it. So we started, like, you roast them a bit, add a bit of masala to it, and it becomes such a lovely snack. And then he's
Almond
happy.
bhel is also a good idea.
Yeah, and also I chop them up and use them to, if you're making the momos, of them, and you kind of roll it in the, like really finely
it's a
chopped
really
almonds and
versatile
all
food.
that. So he's
Yeah.
eating it without thinking that, oh my God, because sometimes what happens is he says, oh, you're making this too healthy, this almonds and all, they're very boring. So they don't even realize he's, eating it. So a lot of times you crush it and put it in the porridge, and stuff like that. Like literally when he was a baby, it would be like a powder that's made and kept from with this thing, and I would just like add it, and the nutrients are going in. So different ways to kind of do it, rather than like me as an adult, I have my pack with me in my bag constantly. I can eat it, but for him, I need to make it more interesting. I'm sure people who have children with a little sweet tooth can make it with honey, and sesame seeds on it and whatever. Make it more interesting and yet healthy in that way. A great snack it makes.